Hey everybody, Andy Moore here. This is day 5 of Budget Watch 2017 here at the state capitol. Once again, you can tell the parking lot is much emptier today than usual. That's because they're all gone home. That's normal for a Friday, to be fair. Fridays are district days when representatives and senators go home to their districts to do district work and meet with constituents there. Although I know that Forrest Bennett was here answering phones today in his own office. That was a good tweet, Forrest. I wish that I'd seen it earlier and I could have called you. But also the House decided to adjourn or to go to recess yesterday at 10:55 a.m. And I know that not everyone was thrilled with that because leaving at 11 o'clock on Thursday when we are 10 days out from the end of session maybe isn't, in the eyes of, I don't know, most everybody, the wisest thing to do. And in fact, if you were paying attention to Twitter last night, or the last 2 weeks really, lots of shade being thrown around by both parties, certainly. Every night about 7 o'clock, Twitter gets really fun out there. But I think it was yesterday, Governor Fallon tweeted kind of a frustrated tweet from her official account that she was upset that they decided to recess so early on Thursday, and it looked like the House GOP, the House Republican account, kind of responded back at her of like, were you here till midnight? So for comic relief, a little entertainment, that's fine, but this is serious stuff, right? Like it's not just jokes, it's not just tweets. We'll leave that to some folks in Washington, but here in our state, we'd like to save our state. We'd like to have a budget thing passed. So last night, many of you tuned in and saw that we had a town hall meeting with Representative Leslie Osborne and Representative Jason Dunnington. You can catch them every week, every Sunday morning on News 9 with Scott Mitchell. But they decided to join us and had a pretty candid conversation where they said some things that I think their own parties might be frustrated about, and certainly the other party might be as well. But I'll tell you what, there was a lot of nodding heads in the audience, a lot of regular folks really agreeing with some of their ideas. We are at an impasse still. The budget update as of yesterday, last I heard, was that the House and the Senate maybe don't agree on lots of issues, and that certainly within each chamber there is some disagreement. Democrats still are pushing for gross production tax to be the first thing passed. Republicans are still trying to get through some other stuff first. And the rest of us here at home are left wondering, I don't know, why they don't just put everything up individually. I get why it's not politically popular. Representative Osborne made a good distinction between what's political and what's philosophical, and that even though there's a lot of philosophical agreement in this building, there's not much political agreement right now. So we've got less than 10 days of actual working days for the legislature to get this passed. That's still enough time. Last year they passed it at literally the 11th hour. Like there was just the very last day, I think, and so there's still some chance that we can get that through this year. What I need you to do is to help continue to stoke the fire, though. This is not, if we just leave it up to them, there's an excellent chance they're going to run to the very end. They'll pass maybe a few $100 million in revenue and try to go home. And the governor will call a special session, and that special session will cost, I've heard estimates of $30,000 to $40,000 a day, something like $100,000 a week, and they usually work 3 days or so, 3.5 days a week. That's a ton of money. That's a teacher a day. It's a teacher's salary every day that they're in special session. I do not want a special session. I know that you don't either. That's a big deal. So if you haven't already, take time right now, go to oklegislature.gov, look up your rep and your senator, put in your address. It's at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. You can enter your address. On the next page, scroll down till you see your state House rep and your state senator, and call their office right now and leave a message. And then do it again tomorrow. Call tomorrow, leave a message. Call Sunday, leave a message. Call Monday, talk to their assistant, leave a message. Send an email. Do whatever it is that you've got to do. Next Wednesday, come up here. Come join us and the Institute for Child Advocacy and a whole bunch of other groups. we're hoping to have hundreds of people up here, not just as a rally. We don't want to just come here and make noise and stand in the parking lot with vests on. This is just me. But we want people inside the Capitol. We want you going door to door, going to meet with your representative and your senator and tell them, hey, my name's Andy Moore. I live at 123 Easy Street in your district, and I want you to support whatever it is you support. Cigarette tax, gross production tax increase, heck of across the board income tax increase, tax on fur storage for people that still have fur coats. That's crazy to me as well. But you've got to have the conversation. I know that we're at home or on Facebook and you're complaining, you share the stories and you tweet about it and you're angry. But I'll tell you what, they're not reading that. Chances are they're not reading that. You got to show up. You've got to show up and have that conversation. Meet them, shake their hand, look them in the eye, and tell them, Senator, I live in your district, and I'm asking you to support this for the lives of people in my district, for my life, for my kids, so my kids can go to school and not have 50 kids in their classroom, so that teachers don't have to go on furlough, or the state troopers can drive more than 100 miles a day. Whatever it is, people can have health care and not die. Kids don't have to stay in abusive homes. There's a laundry list of things why. Make a list. Bring that to them. Say, this is the list of things I support, and this is the list of reasons why. And tell them. You've got to have that conversation and have them know who you are. And keep at it. Keep calling every day. Keep doing it. Come show up. If you're not sure who your representative is or your senator, you're not sure where their office is on Wednesday, come find me. Or any one of our team, any of our volunteers or board members, we will happily walk with you to their office. If you know them, make an introduction. If we don't, we'll meet them too. This is a team effort. Democracy is a team sport. It's a participatory sport. Sitting at home, casting a vote one day, staying at home, and never talking to them again is not enough. It's not going to do anything. They've got to know you care about. I've heard time and time again about how important it is that regular people are engaged, and that this year we've had more engagement than any year to anyone's recollection. I've heard last night and in the last week from at least 5 representatives that at most, if people are super organized, they might get 15 phone calls on a particular issue. 15 phone calls. Go next door and meet your neighbor, and you've already got a third as many people as you need. So just make phone calls. Come up here, write emails, make it personal. Don't just blast them and be angry. Calling them names is not going to get you anywhere. But be honest. Give an impassioned plea about why this is important to you. I'm going to sit down in my car here and email my rep. I know that she knows how I feel about things, but I want her to hear it from me again. Maybe there's something I can say that would change her mind a little bit. At least I'm trying, and I hope that you are too. If nothing else, that's what we can do, right? We can try, you can put your voice out there, and then if they disagree with you, hold them accountable. Hold them accountable with their votes. Run against them if you need to. There's a lot of folks that are going to be announcing their candidacy. And in fact, if you live in one of the districts that is missing a representative or senator right now, there's a bunch of filings that have happened this week for special elections. Definitely check that out. You can go to the Oklahoma Election Board website and find that information. Also, if you want a good primer, a good information source on what's up with the gross production tax, our friends over at NONDOC.com have a great article they posted, I think yesterday, about lies, damn lies, and estimates about how all of this numbers about gross production tax may or may not be exactly what you're hearing in the news. They do some number crunching. And I'll tell you what, there's nothing I love more than facts. Besides maybe tacos. Tacos and facts are both just delicious and delightful. And if we're going to have a real argument, let's use numbers that matter. Let's use the accurate numbers. Let's use facts that matter to the best of our ability. So hats off to Trace and Josh and those guys at NonDoc for a great article. I encourage you to go read it. I'll share it here in a little bit. I don't think I've even posted it yet. But you guys have a good weekend. I'm going to do videos on Saturday and Sunday as well. I may not be here at the Capitol, but I'll do it somewhere. And this is important. This is seriously people's lives. I know that you know it. Make sure that these folks up here know it too, and just stay on them. I hope to see you Wednesday. We'd love for you to come out Wednesday at 9 o'clock on the second floor in the Blue Room. Come to the second floor. look for folks with a bright red "Let's fix this" button, and we can help direct you to where you need to go. There'll be lots of people there. We're super excited. And then Wednesday night, we'll be at Rockford Cocktail Den at 7 o'clock on 23rd Street. We're just going to do one stop this month for our Capitol Crawl because we're tired, and there's a good chance we may have to come back up here afterwards for a little late night session. So it's something else to keep on your radar, on your calendar. Stay tuned in to our Twitter and our Facebook, because as we get down to the crunch time here, there's a good chance these guys are going to be working late, and we want them to know that we're paying attention still. We did it last month, or maybe it was in March, and we got lots of positive feedback. We really want to come again. Just sit there and stare at them and let them know that the people care. And we should care. This is our tax money. We're paying their salaries, and they're making decisions that are going to affect all of us. We should care. So thanks everyone who tuned in. You guys have a good weekend. Enjoy this nice weather. Don't forget, write, call your state legislators. Thanks.